Hey Drizzy, this is question 6. So I think that your teacher made a mistake when this should actually be a positive. So I changed the question and I would do it as if this was a positive. So to do this, I'm going to do the factor by grouping like we talked about before. I'm going to look at these two terms. The thing you can pull out is a negative x squared, and this would turn into a x, and this would be minus 5. Okay, because I'd want to be able to FOIL it back to get the same thing I have over here. Now right here, you would not pull anything out. You would just pull out, you'd pull out a 1. And that would end up giving you x minus 5. So this is one option. She could have meant to possibly change that from a positive or from a negative to a positive. But if you look at the original question, you'll notice it's clearly negative, positive, negative, negative. And if you were to try to find all the zeros for this right here, none of them are actual rational numbers. They're all irrational. So if we go back here, this is just one option, okay? We'll end up getting this. This will be negative x squared plus 1 times x minus 5, okay? So then if I were to try to factor this, this would be negative x plus 1, and this would be positive x plus 1, okay? And then so you'll notice if we factor this out, this gives us our negative x squared. That's a negative x, that's a positive x, those cancel out, and we get a positive 1. So then we go right here, and we get x minus 5. And then we have 3 solutions. So this would be x equals 1, this would be x equals negative 1, this would be x equals 5. Okay, so once we have those, what those mean is that when this is x, then the y value equals 0 at all these values right here. So these are all of our coordinates. This would be 1 comma 0, this would be negative 1 comma 0, this would be 5 comma 0. So then if I go and I graph these right here, then I'm going to kind of check that out. So I remember I had 1 comma 0. 1 comma 0 would be right here. I have negative 1 comma 0, which would be right here. And then I had 5 comma 0, which would be right here. Okay? If we go back up and we look at the original question, let's just assume that this was supposed to be a negative 5. Okay? Then that's going to have a y-intercept of negative 5, which is actually going to be right here. So then what we would do is we'd actually just go back and we'd plug in specific values. So we could plug in 2, we could plug in 3, 4, 6, negative 2, negative 3. We could plug all those values in, and then we'd be able to fill in our table. So just use your calculator to fill those tables in, and then look at it right here. I would also highly suggest, like I said, I think that she meant to make that a positive. I would just download the Desmos graphing app. So remember, this is Desmos graphing app. And I would just type in your equation, which I said was this, but change that to a positive, and you'll be able to actually see what the graph looks like.